So here's what happened. I used the Instaframe 2.0 the other day on a little hike, and it pretty much ruined my hike. Well, let me explain. It wasn't really the Instaframe's fault, but in a way it kind of was. First, let me tell you the good points. It's great for hiking with Instaframe 2.0. It's mostly the kind of stuff I video anyway, is stuff that I've set up, and I'm gonna just video a scene. It's not like some crazy action stuff going on that I'm trying to capture. It's just me walking around, mostly on trails, or maybe sightseeing at some location somewhere. It's handy to have the Instaframe 2.0. It's really easy just to double click the remote and switch from front camera to back camera. Once you get that file downloaded, put it into your project, it's easy. You don't have to reframe and all of that mess. It's already done. You might have to cut some spots here and there out of it, but that's easily done, right? And so it's good for that. It's good walking along and saying, ooh, look at those deer. And just double click. Just flip the camera around and you're looking at the deer, whatever you're pointing the camera at. And unlike this Nano, the screen is facing you the entire time, which is nice. You don't have to reconstruct the camera. The first time I went out and used Instaframe, I just mounted the camera vertically like I always do on a selfie stick. Pretty quickly I realized that looking at that little baby screen, it was hard to see, especially when you get old. It gets harder to see anything. And I knew that if I turned the camera horizontal, I could take advantage of that big screen on the big display on the X5. And it'd be much easier to see and make sure I'm composing what I want to be, the way I want my shot to look. Did some searching, found an L bracket type situation that's basically it's a vertical horizontal mount bracket. I got the one from Sunny Life. It was like 20 bucks. Came with quick release attachment. Just mounted onto the camera. And I'm like, hey, this is perfect. Now I can switch back and forth. When I'm wanting to shoot Instaframe, I can mount it horizontally and use that big screen. When I'm wanting to shoot 360 video, take advantage of the invisible selfie stick feature, I can mount it vertically. Keep it in that bracket. So that's what I did. So I got it, mounted it, tried it out around the house. Worked great. Nice big screen was fabulous. Get on my hike. And I get about 3/4 of the way through and I see my battery level blinking. I'm like, oh man, not a problem. I got 2 extra batteries in my backpack, carrying around 2 extra batteries for that thing. So I'll pop them out, and then I realize, oh, wait a minute, this bracket that mounts on the camera so that I can shoot vertical or horizontal, or mount the camera vertical or horizontal on a tripod or selfie stick, covers up the battery door. Yeah, and so the screw they sent to connect that, or to mount that to the camera, yeah, uses a hex bit. Everything I've got, and I got a lot of Falcam F28s, F22 quick release brackets, everything, every one of those comes with this little screwdriver. I've got one on my keychain, it's always in my pocket, and I've got one in probably 5 or 6 different camera bags. They're everywhere. Do you know where the hex wrench was that came with the bracket? The bracket for the X5? Yeah, it was back at home, sitting on my desk, right where I used it to attach the bracket to the camera. So yeah, no way of taking that off. When I got back home, I realized that I could fix this. So I took the screw out with the hex wrench. I brought it down to my local hardware store. I said, this will be easy. I'll just get me a 1/4-20. Same length as this, that's got a slotted head on it. It'll fit right in this little bracket. I'll be good to go. I won't have to deal with that problem again. Yeah, not so fast. They actually, and this is a pretty decent hardware store, they didn't have a screw that's the correct length. So yeah, I had to buy one too long, get it back, put a couple of nuts on it, lock it down in my vise, get out the hacksaw and go to town, which that was a pretty easy task. Reattached my vertical horizontal bracket to my X5. Problem solved. In a way, it was an Instaframe 2.0 problem, because if I wouldn't have been using Instaframe 2.0, I would have had the camera just mounted vertically like normal and wouldn't have had to have that bracket on there with a hex head screw and no wrench and the bracket blocking the battery door. All that to say, it's fixed now. It's running great. I used it the other day, ran out the battery, unscrewed the bracket, threw a new battery in, kept going. When I'm out doing a little project and using the X5 now, especially since it has this new Instaframe function, I'm using the camera a whole lot more than I ever did, because I can get such a wider variety of shots with that camera. No, it's not as good as the Pocket 3, the image it, and it's probably not as good as this Osmo Nano, but the cool stuff that it does just makes it fun to use. But the X5, from getting droney looking shots or hanging it out the window of the truck or getting those invisible selfie stick shots walking past it, or holding it in front or holding it behind me or above me and getting them 360 videos. After you do that for a little while, the editing on reframing those, it's really not that hard to do. And I don't shoot like 10-minute long videos that I have to do a whole lot of editing on. Usually pretty short little clips, 2 or 3 minutes max probably, for what I use it for anyway. But all in all, I enjoy using that X5, and I do like that big screen. My coffee's getting cold because I'm talking and not drinking. And these cups, even though they're double-walled, insulated, don't keep coffee hot very long. I know, you're supposed to put the lid on it, but I hate drinking out those plastic lids like a sippy cup. I'm too old to be using a sippy cup. Well, I hope you learned something from my mistake. Really wasn't Instaframe problem as much as it was my problem. I should have had the right tool. I didn't have it. But I fixed that problem. And if there's one takeaway from this, it's that, if something's not working the way you want it to work, fix it. Change it. Life's too short, right? To deal with problems like that. Make your life easier. Hope you enjoyed the video. See y'all on the next one.